Hello, IK. Welcome to Add Post Form final explanation. We, I explained this declaration. Now we have logic where all part must be one that can say would be one. It means we must type something in title, we must type something in content. We want like that, and we create that condition. If you don't need the content in both title and content, we can remove one of them. But we want title, type in title, type in content, and we have a third conditions. What is now in beginning after initial rendering? It is idle. It is idle, and it is okay. It is one after initial rendering. Add request status. Add request status is like flag for more security from some outside effect, etc. Where it is? Here it is. When we click Save button, we call on click event call this function, and this function equal arrow function asynchron async await always coming together, and they from that two keywords, it is a background code what permit us to write code without a lot of setback, callback, etc. And it is called like synchronize, you know? Asynchron, but like synchronize, thanks to asynchron await. And arrow function, there is no parameter. Condition, if can save, syntax like this means if can save equal 1. Can save is equal 1 when every part of this logic is 1. And if it is okay, if can save is 1, we go to body of function. Here it is body of function. Here we construct try catch finally. It is construction for exception, for catch exception, for catch error. If all go without error, it's okay. From try go to finally. If there is some error, would be execute this code, and the program stopped. If error is removed, again would be execute this part, and after that finally. And okay, try catch finally. Construction for catch exception. And now in try block, this block in curly brackets, we immediately set add request status to pending. It means it is waiting, pending. Pending is waiting a process of asynchron process, waiting that asynchron process finished. And now when set add request status pending, we remove possibility that button save post would be again more times clicked, because this is immediately hide button save post, because this is immediately don't have this condition, can save will not be one, because in that logic a boolean add request status is not idle but pending. Of course we call it pending because we have a waiting period. A wait here is that keyword pair of async, and wait, we wait dispatch, add a new post is tank, and we see add new post, there is a title content, it is what we write in our form, dot unwrap. About that I spoke in earlier video, maybe in next video I can repeat it. But now concentrate in this part of onSavePostClicked function. And await means that we await that this process would be finished. After that process finished here in this row, if there is some error in asynchronous request, in add new post, we have stop code here. And we see in form, title and content is not removed. But if this all is okay, without error, after that, code go ahead, script go ahead, set title to empty, set content empty, set error null, it is like it was, like it is like initial not change, not mutate, set error null. But if there is an error, would be solved, would be if exist error from take care, not error of tank function, but error inside of this try catch any error. Also, any error in a new post, also any error inside this structure, we will have an error message. Here is a catch error message error, and in console we write console error method error of console. We write fail to save the post, and error from parameter, it will be message what is error. And finally, set add request status idle. This finally means if all is good in try, if all is good in try, there is no error, code go after this part in try, go to finally, and set add request status to idle. Set title is empty, set content is empty. Our post go to remote server and get back to our post list, and we can finally set again add request status to idle by function set add request status to idle. It means a form is ready for second post. And it means that in this component, we have declaration of state, and we have this logic for more security, that it is not possible click button save for more times. And we have function, onSavePostClicked function. It is a handler of onClick call, that this handler of event onClicked, and explained it, and we have return. Return is part of component what will be seen on the screen. It is user interface. Concretely here is form. We have only form, we have this title here, and we have form. In form, here is a label, post title, and element input is interesting. HTML element input, there is attribute. Placeholder not interesting for us. Type text is obvious. ID is saying what is name. We don't need, but we have here that we have not a warning in tools in browser. And value for us is very interesting. Value equal title. Title, when in curly bracket, means it is a variable. It is variable and would be some value. At first it is empty, but when we type something, it is what we type in input. And when we get out, and when we type in input, it is on change. Every type is changes, and it is event on change. It is a JavaScript event. What is here is inside of input HTML. You look at how JavaScript and HTML cooperate together without some isolation of on change. Simple, we write on change, it is JavaScript event. That event, again, we have an event handler on title change. Every change means it would be visible in the input box on title change, create and change title. And every typing, we see that what we're typing, it is in title, or it all is in title. When we finished, we go in content. Here is content text area. Also for us interesting, value and on change input, same thing. Value is attribute of text area, and equal variable content. Variable content, as we typing, event on change, call event handler on content change, and we see what we type in content, and it is content variable. When we get out from form and when we click in a button, here is a button, save post. When we click on save post, we have an event handler of on click. Event on click, and handler of that is onSavePostClicked function, what I explain above. And that function send, activate dispatch tank action creator, and if all is okay, we have empty input box, empty content box. We see post in the list of post, and form is ready for new post. And here it is save post button, and form is finished here, and error, about this error I spoke before. If error exists, would be will be created this part. If don't exist error, would not be created this part visible inside of div visible error. Without error end, we will see div empty if there is no error. Because of that, we need this error. If it is one, if exists error, end logic means that will be this part is always one, div error div. Inside would be created element, HTML element div. Inside would be, we will see that error, what is it? Notice, message. But if there is no error, it means false left side, and the right side is one, but false and run, nothing happened. Will not be execute. This will not be div empty HTML created, because we don't need empty node in our document object model. Okay, it's all about add post form. Add post form is very interesting because example of local statement, local state, and that how we manage with that local state, manage with use state, manage with use state, use state. Okay, all is look at here onSavePostClicked equal asynchron function. It means you see here in that asynchron function, there is no parameter and curly brackets, it is body of asynchron function. When you look at inside, it finished here. When we look at inside of that arrow function in body, body of arrow function, any function is a block. And in that block, there is a calling function. For example, we call dispatch function, and parameter is add new post, again calling title and content. But first, dispatch. A calling function is a name of function with the open closed parentheses for parameter, and here we have parameter. Also, we have a set title, we have a set content, set error. All it is call function. Call function. Set error. There is a set add request. All it is call function. And when we go without arrow function, we will have immediately calling that function in initial rendering. It means that arrow function is excellent isolation of all programs what we need that would be executed when onSavePost would be called, not when would be initial rendering. Form. Initial rendering of this add_post form means that every row, every statement would be executed. And of course, here, constant onSavePostClick equal asynchronous arrow function. What would be execute? Would be define of function, declare of function. Is not usual to say, but I like to say. Define. Arrow function, it is definition, it is define, construction, it is instantiation, and it must be first, and it will be first. But without, I talk about that in every video, in recent video. Arrow function is encapsulation here in body, encapsulation all this function call. Function call, this is every name of function and parameter. It is calling, and parenthesis with, it is calling of function. But when it is in body of asynchron, there is no possibility to call during initial. Initial would be instantiate arrow function. Like that, arrow function, it is right side of this equation. It is assignment to onSavePostClick. onSavePostClick is object function. It is name of function. And on click, call onSavePostClick, and that moment would be execute as all this asynchron and arrow function. It is, I focus now in arrow function. It would be execute all inside of that that arrow function. It means that we have initial rendering, and after initial rendering, we see user interface, we see form, and now we can interact. We type title, type content, push button, save post, and push button save post, call on click. How can call on, because onSavePostClick exists after initial rendering. All object, all state, and all function exist and is ready for use. And when we type title, type content, push button, save post, we activate onSavePostClick because onSavePostClick exists. It is go through interpreter, go to assembler, go to processor, and go to memory and waiting memory where JavaScript work, one thread in memory, and waiting, we see user interface on the screen, and waiting user interface is here ready to use, and we type title and push button save post. Again, all go to through interpreter, JavaScript interpreter or virtual machine, go to assembler, go to processor, go to memory, and call existing onSavePostClick. That onSavePostClick is defined in initial rendering. It means that very, very good reason for arrow function. Very good reason for arrow function, and very good reason for functional programming and very good reason for declarative programming. Declarative programming. At first confused, but not after learning is not. Because of that, I want to write book against confusing. Stop confusing in the first step in learning React. In learning React, and from first step, I look on the React Redux. Look through remove confusion. Remove confusion. Always said, what is it? Here it is functional programming. Functional programming. Object equal function. And also initial rendering. Again, explain why initial rendering. Because declaration and definition. Declaration state and instantiation, initial state, declaration, or through say definition of function, we need initial. After that, we can have interaction. With what we have interaction? We have interaction with data with the initial state. By what? By function, what we define, and by element on the user interface, HTML element. Return, there is a form, and it is excellent example where we use controlled. We take abstraction. Our abstraction, create abstraction for control of form, not native mechanism of form. Form send through hypertext transfer through hypertext transfer protocol with method get or post. But here we create variable of title, what we type in input, and variable of content, and that variable we dispatch to Redux store, and the tank function dispatch pending type and fulfilled type of action. It is we dispatch it through dispatch it to tank function, dispatch tank function, and tank function encapsulate asynchron process. It is API for asynchron communication between a remote server, mock server. API, it is not protocol hypertext, it is not through hypertext transfer protocol, but it is API created API communication API communication between our application and remote control mock controller. On change, on content change, and okay, it's all for this video. Thank you for watching this video.